Hello, Briscoe. Okay, moving on.
Welcome to Hilarity by Default's weekly BRISCO COUNTY JR review, starring the rocking chin of Bruce Campbell. Episode 18, Hard Rock, finds Lord Bowler answering the call of an old flame whose business is under threat of a vile security racket run by the deadly Roy Hondo. To undermine the racket, Bowler and Briscoe are joined by a pair of colorful aides. One, a sheriff who acts as a strange preincarnation of Elvis, and the other, a hot-headed sharpshooter with personal motivations to destroy Hondo. Hard Rock fulfills on the promise from Fountain of Youth and allows Briscoe and Bowler to just be cowboys again. Hard Rock is a lot of fun, at least when it's not getting all shook up with all those Elvis puns.
Thank you very much. You alluded to this, that the writers were speaking through Bowler once again in that episode, Fountain of Youth. Can't we just go back to being cowboy, or however it was he says it? You know, you'll put it in here with your editing skills and make me look smart.
Briscoe, we just be cowboys from now on.
I think, well, no, I shouldn't say I think. Apparently, you are spot the hell on, because of all the times we've both pointed out him, not that or begin, now granted, it's a little bit cocky now that Bowler is forecasting an episode that would feature himself, but I digress.
Well, they're going to speak through a character. He's the one.
Right. No, and moreover, listen, you're talking about being all shook up. First of all, they had so many opportunities to use that particular pun, and the one they did use it on, I think, was a weaker delivery than some of the opportunities they had. But one might be a suspicious mind that I'm bringing up Sheriff Viva so early here, and all I'm trying to say is don't be cruel with it. There's just a few of those puns that they drop, and really, this is an episode that's a lot more involved than just Bowler and his latest flame. If you got that one, extra bonus points. Just to get it out of the way, because I know we're going to talk about it, I liked Sheriff Viva. It was a tongue-in-cheek moment. You may have thought like it's the tongue stuck out. I didn't get that.
I liked him when, in a few moments, they allowed him to be a character and not an Elvis impersonator. Because in the scenes where he is dropping those puns, listen, I understand a few here and there. That's fine. In fact, it's very inventive.
Was perfect. Oh, sorry, I'm so sleepy. Last night won through a party at the county jail, and perfect.
And on that high, it's like that Seinfeld episode, where George says a good joke and then he just leaves because he wants to end on the high. And they do it, I can't say one or two times too many because they just kept doing it. This might be a problem for me now. It wasn't a problem for me back then. But having seen Bruce Campbell in Bubba Hotep playing Elvis, I'm like, we got the better Elvis right here in the freaking room. Although I don't have that much of a problem with Aaron Viva. I think that I kind of like the fact that we're returning to more colorful side characters. We really haven't seen too many of those since probably the first half of the series, with characters like Pete. He feels like he belongs in this world. He just feels a little overdone on the onset. There's one other major character that's introduced in this, and that's the character Whip Morgan.
I thought he was annoying. If this guy had any fewer dimensions, his sense of reality could be drawn on a piece of paper. I'm just saying.
I really felt like the character of Nevada Cooper in Bounty Hunters Convention was the original prototype for this character.
Interesting.
They're essentially the same, very, very same character. The young guy who thinks that they can do better than Briscoe, and Briscoe shows him the ropes kind of character.
And of course, we both enjoyed Nevada, not...
I prefer Whip.
Well, he had a much better backstory to be relevant to the episode, whereas Nevada was just kind of shoved in your face.
In a sea of suspects, too. Yeah.
Right, exactly. At least Whip could give you something that would take you to Vegas. See what I did there? So because the
They're
whole
saying that Viva will take him to Vegas.
Moreover, we're also talking about a guy named Nevada for the first full circle. I'm just saying.
They're trying to set him up as a character who makes mistakes so they can prove that he needs guidance from Briscoe. I think that, like the puns from Aaron, they were just a little bit heavy-handed about it. I mean, the ending confrontation, and this is kind of what redeems Whip for me. The showdown he had with his spoiler alert, his father, Hondo, at the very end, I thought was very, very well done and courageously low-key for an action-adventure serial.
Very David Caruso-esque is what I would call it. Yes, but I don't think that was because of Whip. I think that was because of Hondo. I liked Hondo as a character, by the way.
100%.
A steamboat villain type, but he definitely had some respectability to him. I picture him as what the Western interpretation of a mafia member, a lieutenant or a boss, if you will, would speak about being a bit. Demosthenes, my favorite character is Hondo, because I believe he would be able to handle the business of what we do and also separate business from family. Now, I don't know what got between him and his brother that he had to kill him. Okay, I, Vito Corleone, have not seen the entire episode, but what I'm trying to tell you is this. He knows how to handle business. He just doesn't talk like me. And that's all there is to it.
Which makes the turn of the character at the very end even more remarkable, considering the length of the show and how much story it's telling. And on top of that, we haven't even mentioned the romance that Bowler has.
Yes, which, by the way, she's awesome.
It opened with one of my favorite things of the show, surprise bowler punch. I love it when that happens.
Surprise bowler punch. That sounds like something out of a damn... If they did a Briscoe County Jr. video game, that would be a special move. Surprise bowler punch.
Hell yeah.
And then, of course, they'd have to call Briscoe's chin up. No, surprise bowler punch. No,
I kind of want to make this video game now.
I'm okay with that. Make Socrates Pool like the support character who tells you all the missions or bounties, if you will.
As in one other case where, as much as I love Socrates, I think they made a wise decision of culling back the characters in this. He would have been one too many.
I agree.
Probably my favorite breakout scene is a pure Briscoe Bowler interaction where they're interrogating the henchman, Gage, against the tree. That scene is absolutely brilliant, where they pretty much let Gage know the trap they've set him on. They're doing a countdown and everything. They're having this funny back and forth. It's cruel, but fantastic.
Absolutely. And if Viva were involved in the interrogation, they would have talked about how he's gone as rabbit and can't walk out. Listen. Not only did I like that interaction, Demos, that as a plot device was bleeding awesome.
Oh, yeah. In fact, it was so bleeding awesome, it actually makes you hate Whip more for kind of spoiling it.
Absolutely. That's some Star-Lord right there. I said it.
But Whip coming in and spoiling things did lead to you thought that Bowler versus the rattlesnake was one thing. This is Bowler against a not-so teddy bear.
I gotta be honest, Demos. I love the idea until they actually had him literally wrestle the bear.
I just wanna be your baby.
First of all, shouts out to my dude Julius. His bear growl is fireball awesome. Like the first one he lets loose, I'm like, oh snap, that sounds like another bear. But aside, I'm afraid the bear wrestle is a stick of the tongue out of the mouth rather than planted into the cheek.
For me, I lost it when they started wrestling and you saw the shadows up against the wall. And then he comes out and spits out like a piece of fur. But I will say this. There was an episode of Texas, Walker, Texas Ranger that featured Chuck Norris fighting a bear. And I bought Julius Carey much more.
Hey, listen.
Chuck Norris. So let that sink in.
You don't mess with James Lonefeather. I get it. It's a thing. Okay? That cat has got a talent.
We've talked about some anachronistic aspects in this show. And it's part of the charm. It's part of the Briscoe twist. In fact, they did quite a bit in this episode between Elvis, the invention of the hamburger, aka cow pies, the drive-through, the day glasses, the security racket. I thought was the most creative and cunning twist. I liked that setup very well.
I mean, we're all clear it beats the shit out of the execution of denim, but
the invention of denim, not the execution of denim.
Both. No, I really enjoyed the whole protection racket thing. And listen, not for nothing, it was a pretty badass little logo we had on the sticker too. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, very much so. Hell, I kind of want to put that logo outside of my apartment.
Hey, ain't no one gonna with you then, that's for sure.
How many comments would you give Hard Rock?
So let's be clear about a couple things. For one, the lack of comment in the episode until the very end saved it in some aspects there. So we did have a comment citing, though he wasn't really talked about much in conversation. But
Reginald didn't get a chance to groom him and love him tender.
Well, I mean, the house is referenced, and Reginald was part of the package when he was trying to bring what's her name, Lenore?
Lenore,
back.
Yes.
And Lenore still had enough stuff going on where she said no to being pampered by Reginald. Listen, that's a strong woman. That's a hell of a message. So I'm with how they used Reginald, or rather didn't, but did so from afar.
They kept continuity. They referenced him.
That was a great response, by the way. You like that? No, but what I will say is this episode should have been a 4. It's not. Why? The mishandling of Whip that we referenced. People might be like, but Cal, isn't Sheriff Viva part of the problem? You know what? You're going to name the damn thing Hard Rock. You got to make some kind of musical reference. They opted for Elvis, and their guy was pretty damn strong. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'm just going to do it my way here. I enjoyed it.
If I heard one more piano melody after he made a pun, I probably would have dropped it down an extra star. I will say that.
Haters going to hate.
Lunch. Take care of business.
This episode had more going for it than a nice pair of blue suede shoes, but all I'll say is this.
I'm going to take a comment off our episode if you keep this up.
Yeah, that would make it a real blue Christmas. I don't care if it's February. Boom. No. No, Demos. It's my turn. So no. But again, you got a town called Hard Rock. If you didn't expect this to happen, you're the problem. Granted, Elvis wouldn't have been my first choice for a place called Hard Rock, but maybe they couldn't get rights to Metallica at that point. It was the 90s. Whip is what prevents me from making it a 4, but there's so much 5 caliber stuff going on here. Hondo is a 5 villain. The conversation you have is he might be the best. I would say if we were going to have a top 5 villains episode, if he's not in the conversation, some awesome people pop up towards the end of the show. I really liked the device they used with the key for Whip to get out of the jail after they used the ploy to make the henchman think that he was getting away scot-free when Sheriff Viva was pretending to fall asleep. So much good here.
I agree. I love the fact that you caught that.
Yeah, so much great here. So much 5 caliber stuff, but there's too many misses. And I could argue that the bear scene did a lot for it too. So many misses, there's enough steel horse caliber stuff going on here to stop it from being a 4. I'll put it that way.
That sounds a little harsh, but I'm pretty much in the same boat, because I was sitting there saying there's so much here that makes it a 4 for me, but I'm giving it a 3 as well. I think it leans way too heavy on the anachronistic puns and Elvis jokes. Although, I do like the character, and I think that he is better used later when he's allowed to grow a little bit farther from the joke. And it provides a very nice and welcome. Can we just be cowboys again? Return to the classic Western format with a unique Briscoe twist. I don't want to call this a cheese pizza, but I love your analogy. I don't want to call this a cheese pizza. I would personally say this is a cheese pizza with a little extra cheese. The extra cheese are the cheesy puns.
I see what you did there. A fine take for me, it's more like you tried to put some toppings on there, but you used canned mushrooms instead of fresh ones. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing.
So it's a Domino's pizza.
Well, so much for that sponsorship.
Screw that. I'm aiming high. I'm aiming for Pizza Hut caliber.
Oh, yeah. Great.
I want those breadsticks, damn it.
As far as Domino's is concerned, well, now we're just a hound dog. I'm just saying.
I will say that the pan away to the Heartbreak Hotel actually made my heart break a little bit.
Yeah.
That was the pun that pushed me over the edge, FYI.
When it comes to heartbreak, don't worry about it. We know you're just a hunka burning love, Demos.
I'm not going to argue that.
Got him!
So join us every week as we cover all 27 episodes of The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. We invite you to watch along and let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are on each episode. And make sure to like and subscribe for more fun from Hilarity by Default.